me see. Okay, yes, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here now. I'm here now. How y'all doing? TikTok? So I'm actually on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So yes, we're just gonna do coffee and credit like normal. I don't even have no coffee, y'all. I really don't know what's been going on because like I haven't not been drinking coffee like I normally like do, but I've been drinking a lot of matcha, which you know matcha is a natural energy, is a natural like caffeine as well. So yes, how y'all doing? All right, look. So I wanted to touch on a few things really quick before we get started, before I start answering questions. Just kind of like an update of what's currently going on. It's a lot of small things that has changed since the last time I've been live. So I'm just gonna start from the top. So what's new? What's new with student loan relief update? So there's no update since the last time I updated you guys, which was about how they are putting it on hold or placing a pause on the credits, applying the credits to people's accounts. So unfortunately, there's no update outside of that. As I guess this morning, it's still paused. It's still no word on if it'll be approved or not. What I think will happen is I'm sure in some sort of way or fashion it will be eventually approved. My only concern is number one, repayments start in January. So everyone who is currently on like a payment pause, everyone has to start making their payments by January or will get late payments. So, of course, someone can say, oh, I'm just not going to pay it, whatever the case may be. If you don't pay it, then you'll get a late payment on your credit report, right? So, of course, we don't want that. And so I'm very concerned about that because there are so many people who have been on this deferment or payment pause for 2 years, completely just figured that their student loans will be canceled, so they had no plans on allocating any extra funds towards their student loans. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how that's going to play out. The sound keep going out. That's strange. Let me make sure the right mic is picking up. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so look. Oh, it's fine. Okay, it may have been their phone. All right. So again, no update on student loans, but there is an update with FICO 10T. So if you are not new to my platform, like if you have been following me, been paying attention to the lives for the past, I want to say 2 years, maybe 2 years plus at this point, probably even 3 years, I have been talking about FICO 10T. It was teased, it was unveiled like 2 years ago in terms of like what the differences with FICO 10T will be, how it will affect consumers, things that we need to change in order to make sure that our FICO 10T score is amazing, right? So the newest update with FICO 10T, not only is it is out right now currently, but the biggest thing happened the other day, actually yesterday. FICO 10T has now been approved to be used in mortgage lending. Mortgage lending. So in case y'all don't realize like the impact of that, mortgage lending only goes off FICO 2, 4, and 5, which is credit scores or variations of our FICO scores from literally like 1997, 2002. I think the latest is like 2003. So it's safe to say that the mortgage lending industry has not seen a change in terms of credit scores or qualifications, this big since 2002. So in over 20 years, right? So FICO 10T was finally approved to be considered in mortgage lending. So what does that mean for you guys? What are the changes that we should expect coming up with that? Number one, you got to understand that it's not going to be like an immediate thing. So it's going to take time to infiltrate inside the mortgage lending, system, I guess. They're so used to going off FICO 2, 4, and 5. Not many outlets offer FICO 10T other than like my FICO, literally. So it's just not as widely accepted as of yet because it's so new, and credit scores typically take a few years to kind of like catch on. But the fact that it was approved in mortgage lending and the fact that it's going to take time to be incorporated into the mortgage lending, this is the perfect time for y'all to start making the changes to your credit score and to your behavior so that y'all FICO 10T scores can be on point. So FICO 10T, the biggest difference, and there are smaller differences as well, but like the biggest thing that like everyone needs to focus on is the T in FICO 10T stands for trended data. Trended data. So for the first time ever in any credit score calculations, have your trended data been considered inside of your credit score. So that means that every trade line on your credit report, all of your credit cards, all of your loans, when a lender pulls your FICO 10T report, they will be able to see 24 months history on every single account. Every single account. So right now, as it stands, what you're used to is your lender only having access to your most recent reported utilization. So what's this month? Okay, so it's October 26th. If a lender were to pull your report right now, what they will be seeing in terms of your utilization is the utilization that you reported last month, because credit cards are retroactive, right? So they'll be able to see your most recent reported utilization, and that's it. They can't see 2 months ago. They can't see 3 months ago. They can't see or know if you had high utilization and then you paid your credit cards back off. They can't see that. All they see is your most recent reported utilization. With FICO 10T, they will be able to see 24 months history. So if you ran up your credit cards during Christmas last year, they will still be able to see that. Not only will they be able to see that, but that'll also be calculated into your credit score. It'll be sort of like an average, which is dangerous if you don't if you're not in tune to like the utilization that you're reporting on your credit card. That's dangerous because, like I said, it's an average. So again, if you're not new to my platform, you already know my rules in terms of credit cards, how to properly use them, how to properly spend on them so that they're not. Why is my cousin calling me, bro? Damn, now Instagram gonna kick off. Can y'all still hear me, Instagram? Child, don't. Hold on, let me. Y'all still hear me before I keep going? Before I keep going. Oh my God. Like, please quit calling me. Please. That's so aggravating when people call when I'm on live. Hold on, y'all. I promise you she don't want nothing. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So what I was going to say, yeah, that's my cousin. She literally wants nothing but asking me which couch she should pick. Anyways, so they'll have access to trended data, 24 months history of every single credit card that you have, your loans, so any deferments or anything like that, they'll have access to that. As long as I'm choppy. Okay, so I think it's back caught up. It'll be taking a few minutes. That's my cousin. She in the comments, and so she knew I was on live and called. But anyways, what I was gonna say is, because it's gonna take, so I reached out to my lender yesterday, and I wanted to include a screenshot of what she said, but I reached out to my lender yesterday and kind of like was talking to her about the changes and all of that, and she was saying like, yeah, they did receive word about this, and like I was saying, it's gonna take time to incorporate, but they're happy about it. They're happy about it, which I'm not mad at it either, and I'll tell you why. FICO 2, 4, and 5 is extremely temperamental, and most people don't know how to to increase their mortgage scores, is what I'm just going to refer to them. And that's FICO 2, 4, and 5. Most people don't know how to increase their mortgage scores. Like literally for years, my sole job was to pinpoint how to increase mortgage scores for clients, because it's super specific and it's completely separate and different from how a FICO 8 would behave, right? So it's a science to it. Like literally it is. And a lot of it is still it's a lot of gray area in it, because it is such an outdated version of our credit score. And a lot of things that we do nowadays just does not impact it, or it will negatively impact like your mortgage scores. For instance, having a charge card, having a credit card with no limit. Just multiple things that like we think of it as like good things, but when it comes to our mortgage scores, it frowns upon it because the system just was not built for that type of credit, right? So I say all that to say, when FICO 10T is largely accepted into the mortgage industry, not only will you have more control over your credit score, but two, you now have ample time. You have ample time starting right now to like make sure you start honing in on how to increase your how to increase your FICO 10T score. And I'm literally going to tell y'all. Because the biggest thing with FICO 10T is utilization. So, so if you, like I said, if you're not new to my platform, you already know this, but I'm gonna repeat it anyway. With your utilization, you shouldn't ever want to report over 10%. per card. And when I say report, it just means that on your statement date, which is the last day of your billing cycle, you need to make sure that your utilization is below 10%. The only day of the month, like in an entire billing cycle, in an entire month, the only day in that entire time, the only day that the credit bureaus are let in on anything going on with your credit card is on your statement date. They don't care or know what's going on your due date. They don't know what's going on throughout the month. They don't know how many times you use your credit card. They don't know any of that because they're not privy to any of that information. The only thing that they're privy to is the balance that you have on your credit card on your statement date, because your statement date is the day that your billing cycle closes. So after your billing cycle closes, your bank has to report to the credit bureaus what is the outstanding balance on that credit card and what is the limit on that credit card. Because ultimately that's the only thing that matters. The balance that you left and the limit. That'll determine your utilization. For those of you who are like, what's utilization? Utilization is literally just the percentage of your credit card that you have used versus the limit that you have. So if you have a $500 credit card and you left a $250 balance on that credit card by your statement date, that means that your utilization will be reported as 50% because you used 50% of that card. Not even used. I don't even like to say used because that confuses people. Your utilization will be 50% because you did not pay back 50% of that card, because that's all that matters. What you did not pay back, what you failed to pay back. Most people look at credit cards and they think, I can only use 20% of my credit card, or I can only use 30% of my credit card. I was always told from my bankers, from everyone, that I need to stay below 30% because that's like the industry standard. No, that's not really how you should use your credit card, and that'll keep your credit score stagnant, but that's another story. How you should use your credit card is make sure that by the time that billing cycle closes, by your statement date, you have paid back at least 90% of what you spent during that month. At least 90%, meaning that you're only leaving a balance of 10% or less. That's going to ensure that your credit score consistently rises. It's going to ensure that you are maximizing the points that you have available in credit utilization. It's going to ensure. Okay. I was seeing old comments. Y'all saying y'all couldn't hear. All right. So it's going to ensure that your score is maximized. And then with FICO 10T, if you do that consistently, then your FICO 10T score is literally going to skyrocket, because the main thing with FICO 10T is just, like I said, that trended data. Trended data, meaning it's an average. So I can't stress average enough, because like I said, right now as I speak, utilization has no memory. And I'm constantly telling y'all that, like, don't worry if you ran up your credit card last month. Don't worry about it. Like, all you got to do is lower your utilization. Do that for at least 2 months, and you should get all those points that you lost back. Y'all hear me say that all the time. That's not the case with FICO 10T, because it doesn't work like that. It's an average, and it's trended data, and that's over 24 months. That's 2 fucking years. Like, imagine how often you may have forgot to pay your credit card by your statement date, or like forgot to maybe charges were pending and you didn't realize it, and whatever the case may be. Just think about how many times or how many months within the last 24 months that you had you reported a utilization over 10%. I'm sure most of you are like, a lot, right? Because honestly speaking, when it comes to our credit scores, unless you're like actively applying for something, your utilization, like I'm a little more lax on my utilization until like I know I'm applying for something. If I'm applying for something, 30 days before I apply, I always lower my utilization between 1% and 3%. That's just like a golden rule, whether I'm applying for a credit card, a car, a home, A, B, C, D, F, G, whatever. Anything I'm applying for, right before I apply, I always lower my utilization between 1% and 3%, just because 1% and 3% is always going to maximize your score. So no matter if you have collections, charge-offs, late payments, bankruptcy, it doesn't matter. Anything that you have on your credit profile, if you place your utilization between 1% and 3%, your score will be maximized to the highest potential that it could reach per what's on your credit report. So regardless of how many derogatory accounts you have, just by lowering your utilization between 1% and 3%, you're going to be maximizing the points given or available for credit utilization, which is over 165 points, in case you guys didn't know that. So again, that doesn't stand anymore. So you have to do it consistently. Hold on. Yeah, excellent. You said, what is your statement date? How do you find your statement date? Great question. So there are multiple ways you can find it, but the easiest way is to just grab one of your credit card statements. Every bank has to send you a credit card statement, whether that's emailed in their app or by mail. Look at your credit card statement, and then the last day of that billing cycle is your statement date. Your statement date is just another word for when your billing cycle closes. So, like I said, number one, you can ask your you can look at your credit card statement. Number two, you could just literally call your bank and ask them, when is your statement date? They'll tell you. They'll tell you. No, your statement date is different from your due date. Statement date and due dates are two completely different dates. Your due date, just for the people who are kind of getting confused, because I don't want you guys to get confused at all. When it comes to credit cards, you need to pay attention to two dates. I know you're only used to paying attention to like your due date. Your due date is for your bank. Your due date is for your bank to know how much they can legally charge you in interest, because any balance you carry over past your due date, your bank will charge you interest on, right? So your due date is pretty much for your bank. And of course, you do need to make sure that you make at least your minimum payment by your due date to avoid any late payments or any late fees, right? But when it comes to your credit report in the credit bureaus, the due date doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to the credit bureaus is the statement date, the balance on your statement date. So if your statement date is the 7th of the month, you need to make sure that by the 5th, no later than the 5th, that you have lowered your balance to under 10% of whatever that limit is. And I say no later than the 5th because most credit cards will take at least like 1 to 2 days or maybe 1 to 3 days to process any payments. Because one thing that's important about a statement date, any pending transactions or charges will automatically go to the next billing cycle. So if your payment has not been posted, like literally processed by your statement date, that payment is not going to be counted per this billing cycle. It's going to be counted in the next billing cycle. So to be safe, just make sure you pay it at least 2 to 3 days before your statement date, so that you can make sure that it's posted, it's processed. Any pending transactions will automatically go to the next billing cycle. So you'll be credited for the next billing cycle, but not this one, right? I don't believe in paying the minimum. That's just so they can keep you in debt and make interest go. Oh yes, for sure. And when I was saying the minimum, that was just an example of why your due date is important. But obviously, like, of course, I would always recommend that you pay over the minimum. Always. I just wanted to get that out there for sure. There's no FICO 10T is already in effect, by the way. So for people asking like, when will it go into effect? It's already out. Like FICO 10T is out. If you go to my FICO, you can literally see your FICO 10T scores. Right now my FICO is the only one that's offering all of them. But yeah, so it's already out. It was approved, I want to say yesterday or the day before. I can't remember when I read it, but it was approved in mortgage lending within the last like 48 hours. So that's super new. But FICO 10T has been out for months, right? Months at this point. Vantage 4.0 pretty much models FICO 10T. So we could just focus on FICO 10T because it pretty much models it. Am I tripping? I've only heard of FICO 8. Where's 9? When did 10 come out? 9, you probably didn't hear about 9 because 9 was like the abandoned credit score. Like lenders did not like FICO 9 because it was too lenient on consumers, right? So my theory, and this is a theory, this is allegedly, nothing in black and white states this. My theory is they came out with FICO 10T, which is super lender, I would say lender siding, because FICO 9 fell so bad. Like lenders did not like FICO 9. This is why FICO 8 has continued to be the preferred FICO version. Like it's the most widely accepted version of our FICO scores, because FICO 9, not only were they crediting you for like if you have a collection and you paid off your collection, your FICO 9 score is going to increase because they pretty much rewarded you for paying off collections. As we know, FICO 8 or no other version of our FICO score will credit you for paying off a collection. If an account has went into collection and it hit your credit report, you paying that collection is not going to raise your FICO 8 score. It'll raise your FICO 9 score, or it'll raise your Vantage score, which is what you see on Credit Karma. But none of those scores matters because lenders don't pull them, right? Experian doesn't have all three, so that's why I didn't list Experian. So my FICO is the only provider right now that offers all 3 FICO 10T scores. So yeah, FICO 9 came out and it was like medical collections are gonna weigh less on your credit report. Any collections under $100, it's not gonna decrease your credit score. Any collections that you pay retroactively you will be rewarded for. It'll be taken out the calculation of your credit score. So all of that, and I forgot, rental payments are now going to count. Utility payments are now going to count on your credit score. So that was FICO 9. Super consumer friendly. Like, we were super excited when FICO 9 came out, because I'm like, now it makes sense. Like, as a consumer, if you get a collection and you pay it, I feel like it should be forgiven. I feel like you should get some points for that. If you end an installment early, I don't feel like you should lose credit points, right? So FICO 9 was all of that. All of the yapping that I do on a daily basis and complaining about credit score, FICO 9 was that. It was the answer to that. And had lenders decided to transition over to FICO 9, there would be a lot more people in homes. There would be a lot more people in cars with low interest rates. It would be a lot more people that are qualified for quality offers. But of course, that doesn't serve the bottom line of the lender. They didn't like that. They like, oh, we can't justify tacking on a 23% interest rate on this car because their FICO 9 score is way higher than their FICO 8 score. Oh, we can't justify charging them this and that. You know what I mean? So it just was not lender siding at all. Lenders hated that score. They literally ignored it like it didn't exist. So then we got FICO 10T, where we have completely went 10, 20 steps back. And it's now they're back on the lender side, because FICO has to sell a product. At the end of the day, it's business. They have to sell a product. They can come out with 20 versions of our FICO score, but if lenders decide not to use that version, then it's pointless and they're wasting money. So at the end of the day, it's always about money. It's always about money, right? So FICO 10T is the answer to their prayers. But it's okay, because all you have to do, like I said, they know that most people don't know how to use a credit card. They know that most people think 30% is good. They know that, right? They already know that. This is why when you look at your FICO 10T score and it's a lot lower than the score that you're used to looking at, it's because of your utilization. And no, they're not going to properly educate you on how to use a credit card, because why would they? That's how they make their money. That's how they make their money. A low credit score gives them justifiable reasons to charge you exorbitant amount of interest. Yeah, I've done video, but I'm gonna do another one. Yeah, because it's been a while since I made a video on FICO 10T. Yeah, you have to click. So if you sign into my FICO, damn, I'm on my phone. I always do that. If you sign, I'm thinking about getting another phone. I hate carrying 2 phones, y'all, but it's becoming too much. I just hate carrying 2 phones. Yeah. So when you sign into my FICO, if you go, I want to say it says new versions or other versions. I think it says new versions, and you click on new versions, it'll show you your FICO 10T scores. I thought medical bills did way less on your credit. So I'm gonna reference FICO 8. We're just gonna ignore FICO 9. Nothing I say from this point forward is pertaining to FICO 9. So when it comes to collections, whether it's medical, whether it's telecommunications, whether it's credit card, it doesn't matter. All collections are weighed the same in terms of like the damage that they do to your profile. Now, what you're probably referring to is, now when a lender sees the credit report, they can decide, okay, we're not going to trip on this medical collection. It's still being calculated into your credit score. Like your score is still going to be reflective of having that collection, whether it's medical or a regular collection. But your lender can then choose to say, well, we don't really care about medical collection, right? So that, yeah, it affects your score, but lenders can decide if they want to omit it or weigh it less or whatever the case may be. But it still counts against your score, no matter what type of collection it is. And also, it doesn't matter the balance on the collection as well. So if it's $0, if it's $2, if it's $2,000, they all weigh the same. And I always basically a way that I feel like it will make it understandable. Let's say you have 2 collections on your credit report. One collection is $5, and then one collection is $6,000. whichever one is the newest, whichever one is the most recent collection is going to be affecting you more. So the $5 collection let's just say the $5 collection hit your report last month, but then that $6,000 collection hit your credit report 4 months ago. While they both will affect you, that $5 collection is actually going to be affecting your score more than the $6,000 collection, because the balance on a collection does not matter at all. The balance on a collection does not matter. The only balance that matters on your credit report is your credit cards. Many people think the loan balances matter. That's why they'll rush to pay off a loan, and then they'll soon realize that, like, oh, this caused my credit score to drop. Because the amount, the number, the balance on anything outside of a credit card, it really does not matter. It literally does not matter. Now, the I guess secondary or indirect actions that happens after the balance is what is affecting you, and maybe you didn't hone in on that. So, for example, if you pay off a loan, you're not going to be rewarded for paying off that loan. You will actually be punished, and I use that word slightly, but you'll be punished because zeroing out that loan caused that loan to close, right? So the indirect action, the secondary action. So it wasn't that you paid off your loan that caused it to close. It was the fact that the account, it wasn't that you paid off your loan that caused your credit score to drop. It was the fact that the account now has to close. Any loan that has a $0 balance has to be reported as closed within 60 days, right? So you zeroing out that loan caused your credit score to decrease because the loan closed. So a better way to lower your debt but not cause your credit score to decrease is pay your loan down and leave like 10% on there. Like leave a small balance, because as long as you owe at least $1, that trade line has to be considered open, unless the account went derogatory. But you pay your bills, so I don't even gotta like preach that to you, girl. Yeah. As a lender, FICO 9 came and went. We literally never even acknowledged or had training on it. Oh, I believe you. It was ignored. They didn't like it. It was definitely ignored. That's so true. I paid off a 40K loan and my score went down. Exactly. So it wasn't the fact that you paid off the loan that caused your score to go down. It was the fact that the account closed. Had you paid, had you let, like, I'll give you a real life example. My car, I got my car in 2020. So what, 2 years ago? My car is paid off, but it's not paid off. So I think I owe, it's like a few $100s. And I'm literally leaving that on there. And my monthly payment for my car is like $3.78, or it's under $5. I forgot the exact amount, but it's that low because I paid off majority of the loan, but I made sure that I left a small balance because I did not want that account to close. I don't want to lose credit age. So it's just on my credit report. I literally paid him $4 a month, basically, just so that that trade line can stay open. Right. Yeah, because you lose anytime an account opens, anytime an account closes, anytime something gets deleted from your credit report, anytime a new account hits your credit report, you lose credit age, because credit age is an average. Yeah, so I just applied a principal only payment. So if you're gonna do it that way, you need to call the bank. Whoever your lender is, you need to call them. And I gotta burp, y'all. It's like right here, but it's not coming up. So if y'all see me keep stopping, it's because it just needs to come up. Oh yeah, so I just called him and applied a principal only payment, and then I asked him to recalculate my monthly payment, based on the balance that I left. So it wasn't necessary. Well, I guess yeah, but I just called. It was super easy. It wasn't difficult at all. No, y'all getting confused. My car note wasn't $4 when I left the lot. Like, I wish. It's only $4 because I think I only left at the time when I first paid. It was maybe like $1,500 on there, and they had to divide the remaining balance amongst the remaining months of the contract, and that just made the payment like $4 or something. So it wasn't. I didn't get a huge deal. Like, I wish I got a deal. I got a cool deal, but it wasn't crazy. Yeah, anybody could do that. That wasn't. I didn't do anything special except apply the principal only payment. Yeah, because if you pay your car, if you just pay I wasn't talking to you. If you pay, if you just make a payment, it'll go to your interest. It'll go to interest and principal, but you have to like specify you only want to apply a principal payment because it makes a difference. If they apply to just your interest or your balance, you're still going to be expected to make the full monthly payment going forward, like every single month, unless you specifically tell them, I want to make a principal only payment and I want to recalculate my monthly payment. I know she just, I didn't even say nothing even near her name. Yeah, I'm running out of time. When I signed my contract, I signed 68 months, right? And I think it's only been 2 years. So I still have hella months left, but I don't have enough payment to make it to the end of my long term. So I know it'll end early, but I'm just trying to like stretch it out as far as I possibly can. Right. Once the balance get low, child, I thought that was a goddamn fly. I'm like, what do I feel on my neck? Once the balance get low, have them recalculate. Exactly. Yeah, I finance. Yep. No, I would never buy a car and just cash. I just wouldn't. Mm. Yeah. That page is fake. That page is fake. I would never reach out to you, solicit any services, ask for money. Like some two, three people inboxed me said that they sent money. I'm like, are y'all crazy? Y'all know I have never. I don't even like when y'all do donations. So y'all know I would never just add like. But I appreciate it, I guess. But I feel bad. That is a fake page. I would never ask you for money. I would never inbox you soliciting services. And I'm definitely not like communicating with you on WhatsApp. You know what I mean? So like it's fake. It's fake. Don't click no links because they may be hackers. I don't know. They of course they block me, so I can't see it. But per y'all reports, that's what they're saying. I had something else to update on, but I don't remember what it was. Or I just take questions because until I remember, what happens when you don't go to term? Nothing. The account will close early. So if my car loan was 68 months, and let's say when I paid my car off, let's just say I paid it all the way off as opposed to leaving a small balance. When I paid it off, I was only maybe like 6 months into the loan. So what's the math? 62. So that would have left 62 remaining months on my contract, which months on your contract will turn into payments on your credit report. So basically the goal is to get as many on-time payments reported on your credit report as possible. The more on-time payments you have, the better your credit is going to be, the better it's going to seem, the better offers you're going to be able to qualify for, right? So I want those on-time payments hitting my credit report, but if I end my loan early, regardless if the amount was the same, I'm only going to be credited for the amount of separate payments or individual payments that I made. So that one bulk payment that I made is still only counted as one payment because for every loan, you only get credited one payment per billing cycle. So by the way, people who think that like, let me just make 2 payments towards my car note this month or 3 payments to my car note. That's lowering your balance, yeah, but you're not getting credited for 3 payments, right? You only can get credited for 1 payment per billing cycle, and that's for every account on your credit report. Credit cards, loans, and any other trade line that you have on your credit report. How our credit scores are calculated, it only allots for 1 payment per billing cycle. So again, yes, you can make multiple payments, and that'll of course lower the balance, but don't make multiple payments thinking that like you're getting credited for those amount of payments, if that makes sense. In terms of like, now you have 500 posted payments, right? Does that make sense? Or do I need to explain that again? Why do I keep trying to touch my computer like it's an iPad? I keep doing that. Yeah. If a creditor closes your account due to return payment, can you get it reopened? Most times, no. And even if they do reopen it, it'll be a total separate account. So it'll still just be a new account. Yeah, I'm doing my Homebuyers Masterclass on November 7th. November 7th, 2022. So if you're trying to buy a home, you need to learn how to like increase your mortgage scores. You definitely need to come to that webinar for sure. And also real estate agents, lenders, all y'all need to come too. Y'all need to pull up too. No. It's not that they lie. That's why it's like when I said that, I was like, fuck, I hope they don't think I'm saying something that I'm not. So it does help. It helped because it lowers your balance. But like you could have done the same thing with one payment that you do with two. So it's not necessarily the amount of payments that you pay, it's more so the balance being lowered, you know? November 7th. And also, by the way, just I might as well talk about it now real quick. So for the webinar, you get lifetime access to the replay. So if you can't make it live, you'll still get access to the replay, and you'll also get the presentation slides so that you can go back and reference. And it's $24.99. And I'm gonna tell you literally what you need to do to improve your mortgage scores. Right, mortgage specifically, 2, 4, and 5. We're not, and I will address collections, charge-offs, bankruptcy, and late payments because those, of course, has something to do with your mortgage scores heavily. And I'll tell you exactly like what you need to do about those things. I'll tell you exactly what accounts you need to make sure you have, tips and not. I hate saying tricks. I hate saying tricks when it comes to credit because you just hear it's overused. But like more so tips on things that you can do today that's going to improve your mortgage scores, like proven things, not bullshit. I don't know how else to say it. Like I don't know. It's actual actionable steps. So will you address child support? So I didn't address child support directly, but I mean child support is more in line with judgments, and I do address judgments. But just for the record, just because it's on my mind, with child support, that's considered a public record. So every time I talk about child support, I feel like it's one of those. But I'll just say this: for any public record, any judgment, any public record, if you ever want a chance of getting that off your actual credit reports, you first have to get it removed from the third party reporting agencies that's supplying that information to the credit bureaus. So if I were to have child support, right, on my credit report, the first reports that I would personally look at is LexisNexis, SageStream, which LexisNexis owns, Innovis, and missing one. SageStream, LexisNexis, Innovis, ARS. So yeah. What's the best tip for assistance in clearing CC debt? So I mean, there's two like respected ways, which is like the avalanche way, and then just taking a credit card with the highest interest first and then making sure you pay that off. But I'm a little different. So I like both of those and I kind of mix them. And okay. So look, let me just kind of like explain my theory behind this because I have to explain it. So you know how Dave Ramsey have the snowball effect. And then the snowball effect is just paying the credit card with the highest interest first so that you can, of course, avoid paying additional dollars towards interest every month. So you want to basically align your credit cards based on the interest rates, and then you pay them down according to that. So that's called the snowball effect. The avalanche effect is a little more, it's a kind of like a quicker way because you're paying off one card at a time. What I say you should do, because here's the thing: when people recommend that, they are typically like budgeters or like people that's more so worried about budget, and I'm worried about budget too. But I'm a credit person. I'm worried about your credit score, so I'm gonna always do what's best for your credit score. So I'll tell you the best way for your credit score. Any credit cards that you have that have over a 68% utilization reporting, your first objective, I don't care what the interest rate on that credit card is. Any credit card with over 68% utilization, you are being heavily penalized for. So my first recommendation is look at all of your credit cards, and anyone over 68%, you need to get them to at least 48%. 48% at least. So if they over 68, I don't care if they 90, I don't care if they 73, get those under 48%. That's your first goal, right? After all of your credit cards are under 48%, the next threshold that I would recommend is that you get them all under 30%. we're going to say 28 because 29 is still considered 30. So 28%. So I'll basically go from 68 to 48 to 28 to under 10%. That's gonna improve your credit score more in terms of like a faster way to improve your credit score. Now, like I said, but that you can choose whichever one. But if you more so worried about your credit score, getting any car under 68% is going to be your first, like, this step one. Step one. Let me see. I noticed my rental history on my credit report since the beginning of the lockdown. Is that new? Yes and no. Like, it's and they're considered filler accounts. That's the thing. So when I say yes, it's new, but it's like it's not as effective as, unfortunately, that most people think it is. But yeah. Will this class help someone looking to purchase a business? What you mean, like purchase a business? Like this class is a mortgage class. It's a home buyers masterclass. So it's for people who are trying to purchase a home or trying to improve their mortgage scores. I had a lot of real estate agents come to my last course and a lot of lenders because they too want to, learn how to help their clients get to that closing table. So it's literally home buyers. It doesn't have to be your first home, by the way, because maybe you closed on your first home, but your interest rate wasn't good. You weren't able to get a high interest rate. Maybe you were just kind of like skating by and just qualified for a mortgage. A lot of people kind of fall into that trap, and they still want to know, hey, I'm trying to sell my home, and then I'm, of course, have to buy another home. So how do I maximize my mortgage score? So that's what the upcoming webinar is about. But yeah. Yeah, the DIY kit has letters for LexisNexis as well, but I also have another kit. I haven't, it's because the video ain't done, but I did put together another kit for specifically LexisNexis. What's my pronouns? Can you delete late payments from your credit? I don't like to delete late payments. I do like to request for them to be updated. How can I rebuild my credit after a repo? Have you built your credit? Like, do you have any active credit cards or loans? Yeah, the first link in my bio, or you can just go to roadto750.net. First link in my bio, though. Why, when you file a CFPB report on the bureau, nothing happens? Because 99% of people don't follow the proper procedures of filing a CFPB report. They file CFPB reports anytime they just don't agree with the credit bureaus, and unfortunately, that's just not how it works. That's not how the consumer laws work. Just like we have consumer laws, they also have guidelines. So 90% of people are filing them prematurely, and that's why so many people lose CFPB reports, because they file them way too prematurely. Yeah, my cleaners are cleaning the carpet, if y'all heard that. Let me see. Can't wait for the new late. Okay, I'm gonna list it. I was trying to wait for my video to be done. I recorded a whole video and I just didn't like it. I was like, it's a little, I didn't like it. So I want to record it over, and I actually was supposed to do that today. Does the Masterclass also help with multifamily? It helps with any mortgage. So if you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to obtain a mortgage loan, yeah, regardless of what you're trying to buy, whether that's commercial property, residential property, investment property, it's going to help with your mortgage scores, like specifically mortgage scores. And then we'll also touch on things that we would recommend that you give to your lender, or things that your lender care about, things that your lenders don't care about. What to do about certain situations, how to properly formulate a letter of explanation if you do have credit challenges on your credit report, like things like that, like the whole home buying process, like literally the whole home buying process. I took the first one. It was super detailed. Yeah, one thing about it, I'm gonna be detailed. If y'all think these lives, be something in webinar, first of all, I'm gonna have a presentation, but I like to say every part of it. Every part of it. I already talked too much, so you can imagine. Yeah, MG the mortgage guy is also joining me in the home buyers webinar. And he's a lender. He's a lender. So I'm the credit person and he's a lender. So his teaching is gonna be per lenders, things your lenders are looking for. What does it mean when this closing costs, the breakdown of like all of the lending aspect of home loans. I'm teaching specifically the credit. So basically how we pretty much formulated is I'm teaching you how to get pre-approved into the closing table. So like how to prep for home ownership and get your pre-approval and get to that closing table. MG is literally teaching you how to go from your pre-approval to close. Like all of the things that happens during that time. I have personal experience with closing on homes, but he's a lender. Like he does that. So obviously my personal experience is a very small view of what happens. My process was easy, but not everyone's is. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even begin to teach y'all about that because that's just not my area of expertise. I only have personal experience in that. With him, he's an actual lender. He literally does it every day. So he's telling you from that side. And then I'll teach you about the credit, your mortgage scores, things to do about common credit challenges like bankruptcies, collections, charge-offs, all of it. Like things that you need to do prior to getting your mortgage so that you can maximize your mortgage scores. MG, the mortgage guy. MG. Is it worth it for a realtor to attend? Yeah, I always have realtors attend actually. So kind of like a little brief history of my, I guess, history in this industry. Prior to like being on social media teaching about credit, I used to only work with real estate agents to get their clients to the closing table. So I would be the person that they say, hey, my client has, at the time, we would always want at least a 630, 640 really, but like we can kind of make it work with a 630. So I'll just say 640. I was the person where it's like, hey, my client has a 600 middle score, 600 qualifying score. Can you look at their credit report and see anything or any areas of opportunity that we can do to get 40 points? And by the way, we're closing in X amount of months, right? So I would be the person that's going through credit reports and saying, oh, this loan is being reported wrong, so that's affecting your mortgage score. So I was the person who could identify any areas of opportunity for mortgage scores, because most people don't really know how mortgage scores operate, and they think that it operates the same way as like a FICO 8 score, and it doesn't. It's super, and the crazy thing is, it's like small things. Like for example, if you have an American Express charge card, if you leave even $1 on a charge card, your FICO 8 score is not going to be affected. Like that it'll be fine. But with your mortgage scores, even leaving $1 on a charge card is going to read that card as a maxed out card. So it's just like small things like that most people don't realize, because like I said, FICO's 2, 4, and 5 are outdated versions of our current credit score. So yeah, that was kind of like my history in that. I only used to work with real estate agents only. So I get excited when I get to do like a home buyers webinar, because it just takes me back. It just takes me back. So yeah. Yes, $24.99. You get lifetime access to the replay. Obviously, you get you get to go to, you get to attend the masterclass, and you'll also get a copy of the presentation slides from both MG and myself. We'll email it to you. What does lifetime mean? Lifetime access? That means that it's yours. We email it to you. We email you a link. You can download it, or whatever. It's yours. You can reference it as many times as you want. As many times as you want. Have you ever actually helped someone close? I've helped. Yes, I have. Thank you for asking, by the way. Oh, thank you, by the way. But yes, I've helped. Today, I've helped over. It was, last time I checked, it was 1362, but I think it's a little more now. But I'm just gonna say 13. So over 1300. Yep, I've assisted in over 1300 real estate transactions. Yes. Oh, you were okay. Wait. Oh, you can't pin a comment on. You can't pin a comment on TikTok. That's sad. But one of the real estate agents that I work with, she's on her. Shout out to you. Should I dispute my Sprint collection since they are no longer open? No. I mean, you shouldn't dispute it just because they're no longer open. You should be asking for validation for all of your collections, regardless if the company is open or not. Regardless, the company don't got to be open in order for them to not be able to properly validate the debt. But I'm not gonna hold you. Sprint, you can pin comments? How? It don't give me an option. Like when I press and hold a comment, it doesn't give me the option. Maybe I need to update the app because I haven't updated my app. Yep, it's only $25. Exactly, only $25. If you're familiar with my platform or have attended like my other webinars, I normally try to only do $10 webinars, and you still get a lot of value. But I like to keep it, at that price range just because, right? But with this one, because I have a co-host and the logistics behind it, literally the lowest we can go is 25. So, yep, it's only 25. Only 25. What the hell? See, you know what? This Apple Watch finna go. I'll save it, yeah. It's November 7th. November 7th. If you took the last one, yeah, I love y'all. Because by the way, people that's taking the last class still want to take this class. So it is a rerun of the last one. Now we definitely will. I have added way more to my presentation, but the basis of it is still the same. So I just don't feel comfortable telling y'all, yeah, this is completely different from the last one when it's not. It like the basis is the same, but there will be like certain different things that I'm going to incorporate based on like current markets, like the student loan relief, because obviously that's going to help a lot of more people qualify and just shit like that. But like, don't buy it over if you already bought the last one, because it's going to be pretty much the same. Yeah, no, I can't even hold you. It's the first link in my bio or on my website, roadto750.net. I buy every class and still learn something new. That's why I fucks with y'all. I love y'all. Do you ever contact Amex about the 699? I sent you this. Oh, I didn't see the screenshot. I forgot all about that. I'm sorry. I remember you said that too. Nope, I'm still buying it. You said that last time, and I still learn. The basis is the same. The basis is the same. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, I have added just a few things, but I don't know if it's enough shit to be like, yeah, buy it over when you still have access to the last one. Listen. If you're not buying a house, then really you don't got to pay my FICO $40 a month, just because you can just go to Experian and it's cheaper for $24. I want to say maybe $25, $24.99 a month. Thank you, Miss Q, Mrs. Q. Thank you. Is the course good for refinancing? Yes. So anything to do with your mortgage scores, buying a home, refinancing a home, selling and then buying another home, real estate agents, lenders. Yes. Yes. 90s R&B. That's my favorite era. How can you get your LexisNexis report? Go to consumer.lexisnexis.com or just Google LexisNexis consumer report. My birthday is November 16th. Yes, I'm about to be 30, y'all. Should I do? I feel like I need to do something special for my birthday, but I don't know what. I was thinking about putting together like a bundle. I don't know. I was going to post the LexisNexis. I was going to post it. Made it to 788 following you. Shout out to you, Portia. Where you start at? Where did you start? Tamara, look, first of all, one thing about Tamara, she going to pull up on a webinar. She said, all that went in one ear and out the other. I'm buying again because it's new people with new questions and you get some. I know. You do. But shout out to Tamara because I swear she's at every one. She is at like for years. Yes, my birthday, November 16th. Can you call to dispute LexisNexis? Never call. You shouldn't be calling to dispute anything. Don't call the credit bureaus to dispute. Don't call Lexis. Don't call anyone to dispute because all of your disputes should be in writing in the mail if you care about your consumer laws. Because FYI, if you ever filed a CFPB report and you online disputed, immediate loss because you no longer qualify to for the consumer laws that would allow you to even file a report if you online dispute, because it fell under the expedited dispute process. So that's like one of the things that like many people do. They'll online dispute and then they trying to file a CFPB report. Any collection that can't be validated has to be removed, regardless of the company. The company doesn't matter. It's more so if they are able to validate it. Yes, Scorpio. Any classes on LexisNexis? I'm new to their report. I don't have any classes, but because I didn't really think that a lot of people would be interested in it. So when I started my series, I'm doing a LexisNexis deep dive series, and that's free. That's just on my page. The next part is loading because I wanted to record it over in terms of how to dispute it. That's coming like within the next 48 hours. But go and view parts 1 through 4 to kind of get a background of all the information that LexisNexis collects, how they get the information, who uses LexisNexis, like who uses these reports. Go watch parts 1 through 4 for that. And then the next part is going to be how to like clean that report. Yeah, we're going to be discussing all types of home loans, FHA, conventional, all of them. My daughter toy. Can you provide a phone number on my FICO? I don't know about heart. You're going to have to Google it. I'm not sure of it by heart. How long does it take to rebuild your credit? It depends, but like to rebuild quality credit, you're going to need at least a year. And obviously the longer, the better. But like in terms of the foundation, you can build a solid foundation no matter where you're currently at right now. You can build a solid credit foundation within a year. If you stay true to it, if you make sure that you hold yourself accountable, be responsible, you can do it for sure within probably the only reason why I'm saying a year is because it's not necessarily about the accounts, but it's more so about the time. Like the fastest way you're going to be able to build quality credit, and I want to keep stressing quality credit because building credit is more than just adding random accounts to your credit report. That's not quality credit. And your offers, your credit limits, your interest rates will all be reflective of this person just rushed. You know what I mean? Time should not be taken lightly when it comes to credit report because credit age is a real thing. It's the third largest factor that goes into our credit score. It's literally worth up to 82.5 points. So it matters. But also credit mix matters. Basically the fastest way and the easiest way to build your credit, whether you're starting from scratch or maybe you have collections or whatever, the easiest way is to make sure you have 2 credit cards, at least 2 credit cards. One being a traditional bank card. So if you have all retail cards, you need a traditional credit card because a retail card does not hold the same weight as a traditional credit card. That traditional credit card can be secured or it can be unsecured. The unsecured or secured part doesn't matter. It's more so just having a card that's not tied to a particular retail chain, right? So having at least 2 credit cards and getting a short-term installment. Like that's the best foundation for your credit profile. After you do get those 3 accounts, because that's considered 3 primary trade lines, you get those 3 accounts. You obviously pay them, pay them monthly. Make sure you don't get any late payments. Make sure that your credit cards are reporting under 10%. I've been feeling like I'm competing with the carpet shampooer. So I hope y'all can hear me. But make sure your credit cards have under 10% utilization consistently. And after 6 months, 6 to 9 months, you can either apply for another credit card or you can just keep the 2 that you have. It really doesn't matter. But that's what you should do. I know it's getting louder and louder because they're getting closer. April, I'm gonna do one. April, I'm gonna do it. Can we do donations again for tick? I'll do a giveaway. You don't have to donate, but I'll do a giveaway. 3. And tomorrow's talking about. I love her so much. She's talking about. Can we do donations again for ticket giveaways? Because she wants to sponsor 3 tickets. How about this? I'll match yours. I'll match it. I just feel like maybe I should just give them then. If you want to, I'll match it. But if you know what I mean, if you don't want to, I'll still do the 3 just because like that was a great idea. I'll do a giveaway, a drawing. I'll post it today. Yeah, Tamara is everything. I love her. Oh, my Sephora order is here. Yeah, I'll do a video on FICO 10T. Thank you. You can sit down. Thank you. A car loan. So a car loan is a long-term installment. While that is great, I mean, that while that is good, I do still recommend that you get a short-term installment if you can. If you can, just because it does add to your credit profile and how loans are set up. Here's the thing with loans. Most people think loans behave the same as like credit cards, and it doesn't. Like a loan is not going to increase your credit score every month, or you're not going to see a change in your credit score every single month, because how a loan works is you pretty much will get the most benefits from that loan within the last 10% of the loan, like literally. Like that's when that loan is going to benefit you the most. So obviously every single time you pay the loan, you are getting an on-time payment reported to your credit report. Like that's amazing. And the more on-time payments, like I said, the better. But you're not going to see a change in your score every single month for paying a loan. It just is not how it works. So when it comes to long-term installments, most long-term installments being like 5 years, you don't want to have to wait 5 or 4.5 years in order to benefit from that loan. So short-term installments are a way to like add those payments to your profile and get the benefits of that loan in a faster way. Your student loan shouldn't be stopping you from getting credit cards unless your student loans are super maybe defaulted and you have multiple late payments, because most banks are not even caring about those student loans, like I said, unless it's like in default. But like if your student loans are deferred, or I've seen people owing over $100,000 in student loans and they're still able to get like credit cards, but you have to make sure that you build your credit. Most people think that as long as they don't have collections or charge-offs that they have good credit, and that's not good credit. That's no credit. No credit is the same as bad credit. You have to build your credit. You have to build your credit. I know I keep forgetting I'm on YouTube and I'm just leaning, chilling. Any update on the student loan debt relief? No update so far other than they paused it. Those classes are life-changing. Everyone deserves that chance. I love it. Yeah, so we'll do a giveaway. I'll match it. We'll give away 6 tickets. I'll make the post on Instagram. You'll comment on the post, and we'll do the random comment picker generator thing. So I'll put all the rules today. Thank you, Tamara, for inspiring that. The best short-term loans. So it's no best or better ones, to be honest. I'll just say the easiest ones, like Self is a really good one. It's like $25 a month. If you have Navy Federal, they call it a pledge loan. If you have a credit union, they typically will refer to it as like a credit builder loan. They're all the same. Basically what it is let me first, because someone said, what's a short-term loan? Let me first explain that. A short-term loan is any loan that is under 36 months. Regardless of what type of loan it is, if it's under 36 months, it's a short-term loan. 90% of cars will fall under a long-term loan because most car loans are over 36 months. Like most of them are like 68 months, right? But there are sometimes car loans can be considered short-term if the term length is under 36 months. Now, long-term installments or long-term loans are considered 36 months or more, or 37 months or more. So an example of a short-term loan would be most personal loans fall under short-term installments. Credit builder loans are short-term installments. Furniture loans are most of the time short-term installments. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So an example of a long-term installment would be student loans, car loans, home loans, and some personal loans will fall under long-term. So literally it's just the term length that makes the difference, not necessarily the type. I had a few loans. Hold on, y'all, because I feel like I got that white stuff in the corner of my mouth. I can't take it. I had a few loans from the credit bureau and it boosted my credit, then dropped it. Do you know why? I mean, it's hard to say without looking, but I can only assume, did you end it early? Like, did you pay it off before it was due or set to be paid off? 10%. Yeah, no, what I was saying is you get the most benefits from a loan when it's when you've paid off at least 90%. So one of the things with mortgage scores is I will recommend, like, one of the things that we would always do is if someone is trying to purchase a home and they're at least 6 months out, so like they have more than 6 months before they're closing. So I did this a lot with people who were building their homes, right? Because if you're within 6 months of closing, you don't want to add any new accounts. So if you're more than 6 months away from purchasing a home, one of the things that we used to do is we would get a short-term installment, right? So we would get a self account, or we would get a credit builder loan or a pledge loan. And I would not make them, but I would advise them to pay the loan off. I mean, to pay at least 90% of the loan off and leave 10%, because any loans under, or any loans that has been paid off, sorry, let me rephrase that. Any loans that have under 10% remaining is going to boost your mortgage scores. It took me 10 minutes to say that. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. So we literally would be like, so if someone was building a home, it typically takes like a year to like 18 months, right? We would get that short-term installment. Right before they get their pre-approval, we would make sure that they paid off at least 90% of their loan, left 10%, and their mortgage score is going to increase. Your FICO 8 score ain't gonna move. So if you're looking at your FICO 8 score and you're like, oh my God, this is not, your FICO 8 score is not moving because it does not behave the same as your mortgage scores. But when you look at your mortgage scores, it's going to boost it, because any loans under 10% you're rewarded for in terms of mortgage. Realtor here, that's very true. The 10% on loans. Yep. Shout out to you. Will you explain 5 and 3? Because I don't agree with that. I mean, not even that I don't agree with it. It's just, it's too much work for nothing. When all you have to do is make sure that by your statement date, your balance is under 10%. I promise you, if you just focus on that and make sure of that, your credit score and your utilization will be popping. I promise you. And credit cards are my specialty. Credit cards are my specialty. I know one thing about it. I know how to get a high limit credit card, and I know how to get a credit limit increase. I know how that works. You don't got to do all that. I wish I would stress myself out about paying it 3 times. Absolutely not. It's not like you getting credited for 3 payments. It's the balance that matters. I've been looking for a new car, but I can't find any no APR annual fee. So that's I mean, you ain't gonna find that. No APR and no annual fee. You probably not gonna find it. I'm not even gonna hold you. But listen, you don't pay interest on a credit card if you don't carry the balance past the due date. I don't pay no interest on my credit card. Damn, I unplugged my monitor. I was gonna say I am gonna plug it back up. Hold on. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna pull up one of my personal credit card statements and show you. I don't pay interest. Shit. Why is the card so short all of a sudden? Hold on here. Because suddenly the card don't want to reach. Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick. Hold on. When it loads. But yeah, you don't pay interest on any. The only interest that your bank can charge you is any balance that you leave over past your due date. So if you zero out your credit card by your due date, you don't pay interest. What am I looking for? I think no, what was it titled? If I call Synchrony to try and settle, but they wouldn't budge with what I was offering, can I still go through the validation that it's not mine? I never recommend you dispute any account that's not. If it's your account, you should never deny the ownership in a dispute. That's the easiest dispute that the credit bureaus can prove wrong. And once you falsely file or claim the account is not yours, and you falsely file that, because that's considered a falsehood, you're gonna set yourself up for not being able to get that account deleted at all. A real credit dispute, you don't have to lie. You really don't have to lie. If you just force the companies to validate the account, most of them are not going to be able to do that. But if you just trying to go and say, oh, this is not my account, all they got to do is prove your address, and it doesn't have to be your current address. It's just any address that has ever been associated with your credit report. All a collection agency has to do is prove your address, and at least your first initial. They don't even have to have your social security number. They don't have to have your last name. So when we are denied ownership on an account, it serves us no justice. Like it literally is a home run for the credit bureaus when people are denied ownership. Okay, here goes the statement. And actually, I'll show the statement. Damn, I got two. I can share my screen on YouTube. Hold on. Make sure my address is not on here. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show y'all on TikTok. Just give me a second. Can y'all see that? It's a little small. That's the biggest it's gonna get. Can y'all see it? Yeah, that's the biggest it's gonna get. Maybe if I zoom in on a certain part. How do you zoom in on a certain part? Well, let me show. I'm gonna show TikTok. I'm gonna show Instagram first. So this is one. This is my, I want to say last month credit card statement, whatever. So the point is, if you look right here where it says interest charged, I don't pay any interest. Literally, I don't pay. And I can pull up any of my credit cards and it'll show the same thing because I don't pay interest. I never know how to turn. Okay. So here's a credit card statement, right? Where it says interest charged, it says 0 because I don't pay any interest. But also why I have this up, if you're looking at your credit card statement and you're trying to find your statement date, if you see right here at the top, it says next closing date 10/23/22. So that tells me that my closing date is the 23rd. So I need to make sure that by the 21st, what's today? The 26th. So it actually just passed. I need to make sure that by the 21st, I pay my balance to under 10%. Oh, let me show y'all right here. And here's the closing date at the top. My address? No, that's American Express address. Girl, you scared me. I'm like, no. No, I blocked. Yeah, you fine. Are you still requesting a credit limit increase after Black Friday? You know I am. But I can't do it on the Blue Business Plus, which is the one that I was waiting to do it because they gave me an increase on their own. They increased me on their own, which I hate. I hate it so much. I wish that they just would have left me where I was at until Black Friday so that I can request an increase as opposed to them just giving me one. I thought it was 30%. No, that's gonna keep your credit score stagnant. 30% is high. Like 30% is super high to report for sure. That's super high. And of the 165 points that's allotted for credit utilization, 30% is only going to give you access to about 70 to 75 of those points. So you're still missing whatever the rest of it is. What's that, like 80 some points? You're still missing it. Oh, child, hold on. My bad. I forgot it was still on the screen. Okay, I'm going to show something else. I thought it was good that they were giving me money. So it's not a bad thing. And without context, that sounds crazy. But let me explain. When you get an automatic increase, they're almost always, not even almost always, like 10 times out of 10, they're not giving you nearly as much as you actually qualify for. When you wait for your bank to give you an increase, you're going to get the bare minimum. They're going to give you, depending on the bank, but like Capital One, they'll give you like a few $100s. Discover, they're going to give you a few hundred. Sometimes Discover will give you like a few thousand. American Express, they're going to definitely give you some thousands, but it ain't going to be nearly as much as they would have had I asked, right? So like the card that I was talking about, the Blue Business Plus, I started the trade line at 20K, right? They increased me well before 90 days, which is not like American Express, because typically they definitely are at least going to wait 90 days, but they increased me they just doubled it to $40,000. And I know that sounds like a lot when you're looking from the outside looking in, but that's not a lot to American Express, because with American Express cards, I always recommend that if you have your first credit limit increase, you should always ask them to 3x your trade line. Always, right? So had they not gave me the $40,000 or double my trade line, when I requested it, I would have gotten $60,000. They would have had to 3x my limit for sure, but they went ahead and increased it without me applying. If you're so basically how I do it is, if you're balanced, and obviously let me say it does depend on your relationship with the company, so you have to make sure you're using your card. You can't expect them to increase anything if you're not using it at all. So yes, I live off my credit card, so I use my credit cards every single day, and I have heavy usage on them, so it's definitely not far-fetched for me to expect them to 3x it. You don't got to use it every day for you to expect that, by the way, with American Express. No, Capital One is definitely not going to 3x. They going to give you a few hundred. Can medical collections increase every month? Medical collections are not supposed to add interest. If something is not reporting the same opening date on all three bureaus, do you send a copy of the comparison to the bureaus for round 3 factual disputes? Yeah, I've sent screenshots, but then of course, you have to still explain like what's going on. But you don't need a screenshot. You don't need it if you can explain it. But it can help. Sometimes they don't even include your image, your photo in the disputes. So make sure your words clearly explain, and without being too wordsy, like just factual. Just TransUnion is reporting this balance. Experian is reporting this balance. Equifax is reporting this balance. Don't go on. The worst mistake you can make with the credit bureaus is talking about your personal life and going on and on about personal problems. I was in the hospital. Don't do any of that. A machine, a computer does not have feelings. They don't care. You need to write your letters in a way that eOscar and OCR system would be able to properly understand what you're talking about and properly code your disputes, because that's the biggest and most important part about the dispute process, is getting your letters coded properly. That's the main reason why when sending like dispute letters, if they're not worded exactly properly, not even exactly properly, but if they're not worded properly, it's probably going to be coded wrong. So let me give you guys an example of the codes. Shit, I wish I could share a screen on TikTok, because I'm so sick of picking up this phone and iPad. Can y'all see that? I just hate how it's so small. I feel the biggest it's gonna get. So this is a list of common dispute. Damn, that's little as hell. Hold on, y'all. It's so big on my screen. I'm not sure why. How the hell do you move this over? Can y'all see that? Let me zoom out. Zoom to fit. I feel like it's just getting worse. Okay, hold on. Okay, we just gonna have to deal with it like this. All right. Screenshot this, y'all. And then I'm gonna talk about it. Screenshot it though, because I can't hold this phone the whole time. Hold on, y'all. Let them screenshot it real quick. Screenshot this, y'all. Like the video when you screenshot. Hold on, TikTok. I know. Talking about I don't see nothing. Hold on, because I'm on 3 different lives. Yeah, they got like 10 seconds. And then it's y'all turn. I'm gonna explain it. So I screenshotted it, but can you explain it? Yes, just screenshot it and then I'm gonna explain it. Okay, cool. Y'all got it? Okay, cool. Now let's now TikTok needs to see it. Screenshot this and I'm gonna explain in just a second. Like the video when y'all screenshot it. All right. So now I'm going to explain if I can turn this back around. Okay. Now we all on the same page. Yeah, on YouTube has the best view because they can see it while I'm explaining it. Okay. So what you guys are looking at, these are the dispute codes for the credit bureaus. What is a dispute code? Why the hell does it matter to you? And why does the bureaus use it? Okay. In short, basically a dispute code is, so when you send a dispute to the credit bureaus, every letter that's sent to the credit bureaus is pretty much placed into an OCR system. OCR just stands for optimal character recognition. So what the system does is reads your letters, and based on specific words or, whatever, the way that you word your sentence, they are going to decide what the dispute is about. Once they decide what the dispute is about, they're going to code it with a dispute code. The dispute code just explains the nature of the dispute so that they can properly tell the company or the furnisher or the debt what you are disputing. So why does this matter? Because probably 70% of disputes are coded wrong, and you don't want your dispute coded wrong because, as you can see when you look back at the screenshot, every single dispute code or reason requires a different response from the furnishers or the credit bureaus. So I'm not going to go through the whole list because that's why I told y'all the screenshot, but I just want to kind of point out a few of them. I really want you guys to see number one, the first one, which is 001. Can I turn the comments off? Y'all have to do that. I think you can swipe right. 001, which is the first dispute code, and the one that's probably the most like assigned, right? Not even probably. Studies suggest that number 001 is the most common dispute. That is not his or hers, right? So that means that the dispute that the credit bureaus received, if your dispute is assigned 001, that means that you are denying ownership of the account because you're saying that this account is not yours. Now, whether you said this is your aunt's account, whether you said someone stole your identity, whether you sent the police report, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is you are saying that this account does not belong to you, right? So 001 is the worst dispute code in the world to me, in my humble opinion. It's the worst in the world because the only thing that they have to do, the only thing that a furnisher has to do per the FCRA and the FDCPA, when someone denies ownership of an account, the only thing that they have to do is prove that it is yours and do a verification. I mean, an identity verification. An identity verification to the credit bureaus, because I know that probably sounds like, oh, okay, they can't prove it's me. They don't have it. An identity verification to the credit bureaus, because it sounds great in hindsight, but an identity verification to the credit bureaus just means that they have to match at least 2 points of contact. What does that mean? Literally nothing. It means shit because they don't have to, all they have to do is prove 2 pieces of information that's in your personal information section on your credit report. All they got to do is present at least 2 things out of your personal information. Does that make sense? So they don't got to have your social. They don't got to have your whole name. They don't have to have your current address. If they can name 2 things that's already listed on your credit report, and this is why when you have 10 addresses, 10 employers, 10 phone numbers, 10 different variations of your name, this is why that's dangerous. This is why I tell y'all to clean up your personal information section. Because all they have to do is they can give a zip code and they can give your last name, and that is considered an identity verification. So it's super easy for them to prove your identity of an account, which is why, number one, that's just it's just an overused dispute. But number 2, that's the easiest type of dispute that the credit bureaus can receive. Most of the times when they code something 001, they're not even reaching out to the furnisher or the debt, because based on what they already have in their system, like if the collection agency sent a copy of the collection notice and it has your address and it has your name, verified, right? So let me tell you how you know if your dispute, because obviously they don't come forth and tell us what the dispute code is. This is all internal assignments per the credit bureaus. This is not consumer facing information, meaning like they don't have to present this to us. But let me tell you how you can tell. The number one way that you can tell if your dispute letters or your dispute investigation was signed 001, when the credit bureau sends you the response and they say, we have verified that this account belongs to you. They literally will say, we have verified that this account belongs to you. So that means that the only thing that they verified was identity. There are 37 other things that they are supposed to verify on every single account. But because you deny ownership, they only have to prove what you are denying is wrong, right? So, which is why I say never deny ownership of an account. If this is your account, don't deny ownership. That's not gonna get it deleted easier. It's actually like it's gonna go against you. So unless it is literal identity theft, unless someone stole your identity, opened an account or whatever, unless it was genuinely not your account, you should absolutely never, ever say, I don't recognize this account. This account is not mine. Don't even hint at this account is not yours, because all they're going to do is automatically code it 001. And like I said, if they can verify your identity, then that is yours. And then let me tell you what happens after that. They verify that account is yours, and then you come back with another dispute, right, on the same account. So now you're disputing the account type, or you're disputing something else on the account. All they're going to do is, once something is deemed identity theft or fraud, that account will forever remain in a fraud status. So every dispute that you send after that is pretty much is legally ignored, like literally. So don't do that, right? When you dispute on Credit Karma, when you dispute on any online dispute, 90% of the dispute reasons that they list will all deny ownership. Let me tell you how they work together, how I hate when y'all dispute on Credit Karma. Let me tell you why. When you go on Credit Karma and you say, let me dispute this account, first of all, they make you choose a dispute reason. A real dispute, you don't have to have a reason to dispute anything on your credit report other than I want to request an investigation. You don't have to have a dispute reason. Credit Karma makes you choose a dispute reason for a reason, right? All of their dispute reasons, they're going to list, of the choices that they give you probably like 15 things to choose from or whatever that you can pick why you want to dispute this account. When you look at every dispute reason, out of the 15, 12 of them are denying ownership. It's just saying it in a different way. So one will say, this is not my account. Then it'll be like, this account belongs to a spouse. And then it'll be like, I do not recognize this account. And then it'll be like, a lot of other words for this is not my account, right? So they are really trying to get you to deny ownership, because that is a win for them. They understand that if they can get you to say that this account is not yours, or you can deny ownership, they can legally dispute, or they can legally assign it a 001. And again, they don't have to investigate anything else on the account, anything except that the account belongs to you, right? So stop doing that. Do not do that. Do not do that. I know that was a whole lot for that one comment, but I just wanted to stress the importance of not denying ownership of the account. It doesn't help you. It's not 2008 no more. You can't just send a 609 letter and expect the credit bureaus to actually believe that it is not yours. It is 2022. The contract that you signed with the company was probably electronic. Even if it wasn't electronic, like, it's 2022. It is first of all, LexisNexis exists. If I wanted to find your address, I can go on and pull your LexisNexis report and get more than 2 pieces of information about your identity, right? I say all that to say the collection agencies are the number one consumer of LexisNexis reports. They literally are in bed with LexisNexis. LexisNexis knows your entire life from when you were born to now. They know every single thing that you've ever done in your life, right? That's why collection agencies work with LexisNexis. So don't ever deny ownership. I said, like, literally never deny ownership, because your identity is too easily proven. It's too easily proven. What are some other codes? I mean, I'm gonna tell you my favorite. Well, obviously it depends on the account type. But one of my favorite, so just to give y'all a kind of like outlook on my HIPAA letters, the reason why they're so effective. My HIPAA letters are so effective because in more words than one, it pretty much will make sure that your dispute is coded either 39, 41, or 101, which is my favorite dispute codes, because that's the hardest account. That's the hardest kind of like dispute for them to be able to prove without the original creditor. And when it comes to medical collections, they are already limited as to like what information they can get from the original creditor. So yeah. I mean, I've used, not even, because it's not like I can't say, hey, code this, etc. Right? No, I just know how to word the letters in a way that it would provoke a certain response legally, because I never, first of all, I never lie. I never lie to the credit bureaus. I'm not going to jail behind a credit report. I never, ever lie. And y'all know, like, if you watch my life, I don't ever lie. Don't ever lie, because there are just already, first of all, like I said, on every account, it's like 37 things that they will have to investigate if you request it. As long as you don't deny ownership, there are a lot of other things on every account that you can force validation from that they're probably not going to have. Like, they're not going to have that information anymore. And it's not your fault that your company or the collection agencies don't have the proper information. That's not your job. The burden of proof is always going to be on the furnisher of the debt and not you as the consumer. Exactly. Yep. It's not clear. It's not clear to y'all. It's so clear to me. I got a piece of hair on my lip. Look, yeah, exactly. My letters are so simple, but it's worded particularly. So just so, number one, first of all, my first round, I got a piece of hair on my motherfucking lip and it's irritating me. My first round, which I recommend everyone's first round, to never have a dispute reason. I'll show you. Y'all can screenshot the first round. Give me a second. But my first round is literally just, hey, I'm requesting an investigation for all of these accounts. It's like a piece of hair on my goddamn lip. Now I want to get it off after I messed up everything. But yeah, you just are requesting an investigation for the accounts. Don't tell them why you want to investigate. None of that, because y'all be giving way too much information. Y'all be giving too much information. Yeah. The thing with consumers, y'all don't realize that the burden of proof is not on you as a consumer. So you should be very limited to any information that you give them, because anything that you say is like, it's like a police, it's like when the police stop you, anything you say can be used against you. And that the same goes for the credit bureaus. What am I looking for? Oh, right here. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. So screenshot this and then y'all know the drill at this point. So this is the first round letter. So if you have collections, this is the letter that you need to start your dispute process off with. Yeah, this is my DIY kit, by the way. But look, like the video when y'all screenshot it. Hold on, TikTok. I'm going to show y'all. So if you have collections, I'm going to show you exactly how you should dispute it. You can't. Yeah, so if you're on TikTok, if you go over to YouTube, as you can see, like they get the full experience, because they get to see the screen and listen at the same time. All right, if y'all ain't get that, if y'all ain't screenshot that in that time, y'all don't even want it. So hold on, let me get TikTok caught up. What? What? Yeah, it really will not turn. Oh, okay, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Okay. All right, so this is, well, screenshot this first if you have collections. And then like the video once y'all screenshot it. You got like 10 seconds. All right, the 10 seconds was over. So look, that's a round one letter, right? And this letter is super simple. It literally says, I recently looked at my credit report and there were some things that I'm questioning. If you read the letter, I never said why. I never said I believe this account is wrong, or I don't believe that this account belongs to me, or I don't remember opening. No, I literally just said, it is my understanding that you will investigate these items for me to ensure accuracy, right? So even if you don't send this letter word for word, make sure that last sentence is included, because that's very specific for a reason. It is my understanding that you will investigate these items for me to ensure accuracy. So let me tell you what's going to happen. When this letter is sent through OCR system, it's automatically going to ding it as a full investigation. a full investigation, meaning they are supposed to, in theory, investigate the entire account, all of the balances, the dates, like everything that is on your report for this account. They are supposed to investigate it when you are asking them to ensure accuracy, right? Do they always do that? No, but we'll talk about that later. They are supposed to. They are supposed to. Oh, my phone finna die and it's plugged up. Let me plug it up. Okay, my bad. All right, so they're supposed to ensure accuracy. That's going to give you a full investigation, right? So always, if you have collections, always start with this letter. Or it, like I said, it doesn't have to. My letters are not special in a way that like we're tricking the credit bureaus. It's not special in that way. It's just worded properly. Like it's nothing special about them. Nothing. You can do these. If you look at my letters, you will see they are so simple, and it's for a reason. But like I said, if you customize this letter, I would absolutely ensure, or I would absolutely suggest that you leave that last sentence in there, because that's what's gonna kind of like flag the OCR system, as opposed to like all of the rest of the shit that I was saying, right? Yeah. So your collections, list all of your collections on this letter. My only suggestion is if you have more than 6 collections, then you need to print out another letter. Like you can't I wouldn't suggest putting more than 6 on one page, because you want to try to stay one page per dispute, especially in the beginning rounds, as possible. When it goes to 2 pages, it'd be confusing OCR. No, that's a real thing. And yeah, someone just brought up a great point. Another reason why a lot of dispute letters are not successful is because y'all be disputing a lot of different things in one letter. And you shouldn't do that, because when you dispute a lot of different things in one letter, they don't know how to assign it an accurate dispute code. So they'll either pick which code that they'll assign it to, and you don't want it up to them, right? They'll pick which one, or they'll like use the first dispute reason that pretty much you listed. Don't give again, that just kind of goes back to giving them too much information. Y'all give too much information in one letter. No, because you gotta just imagine it. How I imagine disputing with the credit bureaus, I imagine myself like disputing with a computer. Like literally just imagine it like that. Take out all emotions and act like you are literally talking to a robot, because that's pretty much what you're doing. That's pretty much what you're doing. So yeah, so I send that for my first round for collections. And if you have charge-offs, put them on a separate letter. I would advise not putting collections and charge-offs on the same letter. They're just totally different account types, and they just require a different medium of like reaching the furniture. A charge-off is with the original creditor, and then a collection is typically with a third-party entity. So I like to keep them separate. I just find more success when you keep them separate. And then round 2. Oh, I just realized y'all wasn't even getting the bottom part of the letter. Let me show it one more time. Just because I don't think y'all got the bottom part. And every word is important. Okay. Screenshot it again. So erase the screenshot that you just did. And here's the full letter. My YouTube channel is Shonda Martin. All right. So let me show TikTok. No, one envelope per letter. Never put more than one letter in the same envelope. Nope. No, in a regular stamp is fine. You do not have to send certified. You wasting money. Don't send it certified. You are wasting money. Unless you're sending it directly to the collection agency, don't waste your money. Don't even waste your money, because it's not going to make a difference. Do y'all see that? I don't want to say your name because you said you worked there, but someone said, as a TransUnion employee, I could tell you get information from the inside. LOL. I'm out. You got to be loyal to the people that pay you though. So I ain't even mad at you. You missed it again? Yeah, that's just round one. What do you mean by rounds? Rounds just mean going back and forth with the credit bureaus because they're not going to always do the right thing, and it's up to you in order to enforce your consumer laws because they don't matter unless you actually stand up for yourself and enforce them because just them being available, most of them are being broken, and if you don't call them out, it don't matter. So rounds is literally just think of it like you're going back and forth, like your initial contact, they're replying to you, you're replying to them, they're replying to you. So we just refer to them as rounds. Um, what if they reply and say that the account is verified? Yeah, so that's what I was saying. They are going to reply that. Fully expect that they are going to reply and say this account was verified, right? Or this account we validated, whatever. They're going to say that. That's why you need to follow up, and I'll show you the follow up in just a second. But with this letter, make sure you guys include a copy of your ID. And also do not sign any letters. Don't sign any dispute letters ever. Type your name. Do not sign it. You do not have to send your social security card, nor do you have to send your entire social security number. When people are repairing your credit, they do not need your full social security number. All you need legally to dispute something on your credit report is the last four of your social, and of course, obviously your name and your address. You don't have to send your social security card unless the only time where like you actually have to send a social security card is if maybe your file is mixed with someone else's and they want to ensure that you're the correct person. But 99% of people are not going to have to deal with that. So send a copy of your ID, a copy. Don't send your original because I've had people send their original copies. Y'all, I've had people send their original copies. Yeah, you don't have to send your original copy. So send a copy of your ID and then make sure you don't sign the letter. Like type your name. Actually, I used to have I cut it off, but it literally says type your name. Don't sign anything, but the signature is on the ID. Exactly. This is exactly why you don't have to sign it. Your ID, your signature from your ID cannot be copied and placed on a contract. It's encrypted. On a white piece of paper, a signature on there, I don't even know how to do editing and all, but I could be able to photocopy someone's name off a white piece of paper and put it on a contract. So don't do that. Your ID is your signature. That's why you send a copy of your ID. Okay, look, y'all can get me distracted. So look, round 2. This is a follow-up letter. A follow-up letter. So that means that you should not be sending this round until they have replied to you. Don't because you're impatient, don't take it upon yourself to say, oh, I'm just finna send my round 2 letter. No. That's where you mess up. That's where you mess up. You cannot be impatient. You can't be impatient because there's nothing you can do about it. If you continue to write the credit bureaus or ask for updates on disputes and stuff like that, all they're doing is legally being able to further your investigation by 15 days. Every point of contact, let me say this clearly. Every point of contact that you make to the credit bureaus after an investigation has opened gives the credit bureaus the legal right to add 15 days to your investigation process. And I said, and I mean when I say every point of contact, because let me tell you, y'all be calling and say, can I get an update on my dispute? I sent the dispute letter in. I just want to know what's going on with my dispute. When you call the credit bureaus, you're talking to a customer service rep. The dispute department don't have phones. They don't talk to consumers. They don't have phones. So you calling and asking the customer service rep for an update, you could have called me. I know just as much as they know, which is shit. They don't know. They're not privy to that information until the investigation is done. But they do have to show that you call. They do have to notate that you call. And guess what? Now you done added 15 more days to your investigation process. Yes, every point of contact, they can legally add 15 days. No, you don't need to call for, what is calling for an update going to do? Theoretically, like for real, what is that going to do? Them updating you and say, oh, it's still an investigation. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't do anything. It does. So being impatient will only hurt you. It'll only hinder you. LexisNexis sent me a letter stating they are unable to confirm my identity. What do I do? Call them. Call them so you can verify your identity. That happens a lot with LexisNexis. No, for real. Because they just customer service reps. Like, no shade to them, but they just there to like answer the phone and provide, surface level information. They're not there to provide any information about disputes or anything because that's just not their department. Don't get on there. Exactly. In other words, don't get on them people's nerves. But it ain't even just about getting on their nerves. Leave them alone so they can do your investigation. And then when they reply back within 15 days, this is very important. Within 15 business days, I need you to have your round 2 letter in the mail. Fully, when I show y'all this next letter, when you fill out your first round letter, go ahead and just fill out your second round letter, because I always tell people, don't even expect deletions from the first round. Social media has tricked everyone into believing that they can improve their credit in 30 days and they can send a letter and everything is going to be deleted in 30 days. That's not how it happens, guys. That's not real life, right? So what I tell people is, when you fill out your first round, the letter that I just showed you guys, go ahead and just copy and paste all of those same accounts and put it on your round 2 letter, because you are fully expecting that they're just going to verify all of your accounts on the first round, because it just happened. It just is what it is. It ain't fair. I know they're supposed to give you a full investigation. We can cry about it together all night, but it ain't going to change that, right? Fully expect them to verify it. So then you should already have your follow-up ready and in the mail within 15 days. The sooner the better, because it really shouldn't take you 15 days. The sooner the better. If you wait past 15 days, you basically run a risk of them starting the entire process over, and you don't want that at all. You want to continue your dispute process. The further in rounds that you get, the more likely it is for a actual person to, be assigned to your case and actually look at what you're saying, right? This round 2, I forgot y'all wasn't looking at. You know what's crazy? I was waiting for y'all to screenshot it, thinking that y'all looking at the screen. I'll be forgetting. So this is round 2. I was like, why they asking me to see it like they don't see it on the screen? So this is a round 2 letter. This is, like I said, a follow-up. So this should not be sent until after they reply to you. This is not the letter to send if they didn't reply to you. Because if you read the letter, it literally says, I'm in disagreement with the items listed below. I'll talk about it in just a second. Hold on. So y'all got that? All right. I know on YouTube, y'all got it straightforward. Oh, we have to scoop back. Y'all have to I don't know how to do the comments. Y'all gonna have to do that. I think y'all swipe left or right. Like the video when y'all got it. Yeah, what am I eating for dinner? I am so hungry. Okay, let me just do the first one really quick. This is round 1. This is round 1. All right, so the second round that I just showed you guys, that's a follow-up. So in this letter, this is the first time that you're even going to mention any laws or anything, because the first letter is just super casual. Hey, I seen my report. I'm just requesting an investigation. The second round is to be sent after they have verified the account. So if they delete any accounts as a result of the round 1, I gotta burp, then obviously you would not have to follow up on that account in round 2. You would just leave that account off, and then the other accounts that maybe they verified, you would just continue to dispute those, right? So this account is just saying, I'm in disagreement with the items listed below. That line is very important, which still appear on my credit report even after your investigation. Remember, we're talking to a computer. I would like these items immediately reinvestigated. The inaccuracies are highly injurious to my credit rating. That is important, right? Because the FCRA states that per Section 611, a consumer has the right to request an investigation for any account on their credit report without any reason. You don't have to give a dispute reason. You have the right to request an investigation, right? But it also states that if a consumer disagrees with the investigation of the credit bureaus, they also have the right to follow up, inquire about more information, including, this is straight out of the FCRA, including the contact of anyone who played a role pretty much in the investigation process, right? So what does that mean to me? It means that I'm going to put a disclaimer in my letter. When I put this second section in the letter, instantly started seeing more results. It literally just says, furthermore, in accordance to the FCRA, please provide the names and business addresses of each individual with whom you verified the above to, so that I may follow up. Because the FCRA states that if I disagree with your investigation, I can ask for more information, and I have the right as a consumer to follow up on anyone that worked on my file. Anyone. If anyone touched my file, as a consumer, I have the right to ask them questions about my information. Okay, so include that part. The second part is also important. And that's just round two. Round two. Again, not anything special, not 4 pages of dispute. No, none of that. I disagree. And by the way, keep in mind, we still haven't told them what we disagree with, because that's important. Remember, I said I don't do dispute reasons off the bat, because it's not my job as a consumer to tell you what's wrong on my credit report. And then I'm going to show you how I flip it in round 3, how these 2 letters, while I already know that they're not going to get most deletions, it's all a setup for round 3. Like it's all a setup. So again, this letter is super light. You still being nice. Oh, thank you for doing my investigation, but I disagree with it. And give me more information about who touched my file, just so I can kind of see what's going on. We still real nice, right? So then in round 3, that is going to be the first time where you even mention any specifics about the account. Because like I said, in rounds 1 and 2, you ain't mentioned no specifics. So technically speaking, the credit bureaus don't even know what they're investigating. And that's a reason, because we don't, like, again, remember when I said we don't want to give them a dispute code, because as soon as you give them a dispute code, the only thing that they have to do is prove what you said is wrong, right? It's all a setup. So at this point, if we're at rounds 3 and you still haven't deleted these accounts on my credit report, but also not even just deleted, you haven't validated, you haven't sent me any contract bearing my signature, you haven't sent me any letter with the company's letterhead claiming you as an owner of the account, because if you get any of these, those are considered validation, by the way. You haven't sent anything, because I already know you're not really investigating my account. You're literally just taking it upon yourself to verify this account, right? So then in round 3, because at this point I didn't give you 2 chances. You don't got a dispute reason, so you were supposed to be doing full investigations, right? I didn't give you 2 chances to make sure that everything on this account was right. So then we're in round 3. Now you can specify what's wrong with the account. And then you can now you can request that it's actually deleted. And now it starts to get into violating your consumer rights, right? So how it works is, in round 3, I like to do factual disputes. Factual disputes is just anytime you can look at your credit report and factually disagree with anything that's reporting. So most of the time, this looks like the balance is being inconsistent across the credit bureau. So TransUnion is reporting you owe $500. Experian is reporting that you owe $512. Equifax is reporting that you owe $3, because Equifax is always off, always. So that's a factual dispute. Anytime you can literally look and say, this is a fact that this information is incorrect, right? So I like to reserve that to round 3. Don't go out the door factual disputing. I'm telling you, don't go out the door factual disputing, because when it comes to your consumer rights, the credit bureaus are not in the wrong until it's brought to their attention. So they could be very well violating your consumer rights, but until you call them out on it, they're not considered wrong, because you have to give them a chance to fix it, right? Legally speaking, you have to give them a chance to fix it. The chance that you gave them to fix it was rounds 1 through 2. And the way that you saved yourself is you never pointed out what was wrong. They had a chance to fix everything that was wrong on the account, because they were supposed to do a full investigation. They were supposed to do a full 37-point investigation on every account. they didn't do it because they don't do it, but whatever, they are supposed to. So now in round 3, now you doing their job for them. Because if I wanted to work for y'all and point and look at my credit report and point out inaccuracies, y'all could have been writing me a check. So now on round 3, it's like, how on earth did you do 2 full investigations? So how I like to approach round 3, I say, I always thank them. Thank you for doing the investigation, whatever. I have given you 2 times to investigate this account, or 2 months or whatever. I've given you 2 chances to fully investigate this account. And you have insured me based on the letter that you sent me. Like the letter that they send you, they're going to say it's verified, right? Based on the letter that you sent me, you insured me that you've done all you can to ensure accuracy. Remember on round 1, we put, I just want to make sure that my accounts are accurate. I just wanted to ensure accuracy. The reason why we put that is because ensure accuracy means that everything on the account is correct. Everything, right? So I've given you 2 chances to ensure accuracy, maximum accuracy on all of my accounts. And you failed to do that because you are reporting an inconsistent amount. How did you investigate this account and you didn't catch that you and TransUnion are not on the same page on this account? How didn't you catch that Equifax is reporting this account is open, but then TransUnion is reporting it as closed? So now you're able to say, now you're able to doubt the investigation. Now you're able to completely say, I don't think the account was ever investigated. And if it was investigated, it wasn't properly investigated. So now I have reason to doubt everything that you've ever presented me. Now nothing you say really matters, because how on earth did you fully investigate this account, but the balance is still wrong, right? So I like to go to factual disputing in the 3rd round. This is a template for factual disputing, but I'll have to do like a full live on all of the factual dispute reasons, because there can be, like I said, multiple things wrong with an account. Am I going too deep in it? I hope it's making sense, because y'all know I be getting excited to talk about credit, and I be forgetting that y'all be like, girl, we don't know this shit. So let me know if I'm like, y'all know how it is when I get in my bag with credit. Let me know if I'm saying too much. You can check it out. Hold on, I'm gonna read that. Give me a second. This is round 3. No, you don't have to freeze them. Nope. Oh, y'all couldn't see it. Okay, hold on. One more. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I thought it was lovely. Hold on, let me just scroll up real quick, because here's a list of like common things, common factual errors on reports. Screenshot this and then screenshot the letter below. Yes, this is my DIY kit. This is the DIY kit. Girl, right. We weren't even supposed to talk about collections today. I feel like I always talk about collections though. Oh, okay. Let me give y'all 5 more seconds. Okay. 5 more. Medical. No. If you have medical collections, don't send what I just sent you, and I'll show you the right letter to send. These technically can work for medical. I just like a different letter better for medical. So this is for just like any other collection outside of medical. Y'all only see half the screen? That's so crazy, because what do I now? Okay. I know y'all. They right outside my door, so y'all gonna definitely hear it. Okay, what was I saying? I was just going to tell y'all something, but I don't remember what it was. We're on round 3. Oh, medical collections. And then I'm gonna have to get out of here because I have to cook dinner, child, and I didn't realize it was 2:00. The kids getting home at 3:05. So mom mode. I gotta enter mom mode at 2:00. So let me just show y'all these real quick, and then I'm gonna come back live later on. Well, I'm not even gonna hold you. No, I'm not. I was gonna lie right to y'all face. That is so sad. Knowing I got too much to do today. Okay, so can y'all see that? Yeah. So is that blurry to y'all on YouTube, or am I tripping? This the DIY kit, yeah. One thing about it, she don't play about them kid. I love my babies. Look, so this shit. Ow! I just broke my goddamn nail. Or almost. I'm sorry, YouTube. I be trying so hard not to curse when I'm on YouTube. Anyways, what I was saying is if you have medical collections, this is probably like the longest letter because we have to talk about like the HIPAA laws and stuff. So for medical collections, send this. It's two letters. Part 1 and part 2. This is part 1, and part 1 gets sent to the credit bureaus. Screenshot this, and then I'm gonna show y'all part 2 real quick. Hold on, Insta. So that's part 1. Medical collections only. Medical collections only. And then this is part 2. And then this is part. Oh, I hate when this do it. Okay, it's fine. And this is part 2. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you can see the whole letter. DIY kit part 2 is unveiling the day of the class, November 7th. I updated it and added more. It's super blurry. Shit. To be honest, I don't even know why I asked because I don't have a solution for it. I don't know how to not make it blurry. So yeah, I'm talking to YouTube. Because it doesn't look blurry to me, but at first it did look blurry. No. So someone said, I think I previously bought your DIY kit a long time ago, but I cannot find it in my email. Do I need to buy it again? No. You never have to like repurchase anything. If you don't have it or can't find it, always just reach out to customer service at info@roadto750.net and we'll just like manually send you another copy. We have we'll based on your whatever email address that you use to purchase it, just let us know it so we can look it up and of course confirm your purchase, and then we'll just send it to you. Oh, you can see it? Okay, cool. But look, right before I leave though, y'all, what about the 1600? No, we can't talk about late payments today only because I don't have enough time to kind of get into it. Customer service is great. Thank you. So make sure if you guys want to purchase a home, anyone wanting to purchase a home, I am doing a webinar November 7th. It's called the Homebuyers Masterclass, where I teach you step-by-step how to improve your mortgage score, specifically things to do before you, get your pre-approval or before you apply for a home so that you can maximize your mortgage score, which lowers your interest rates. Make sure you come to the class if you want to purchase a home. You get lifetime access to the replay. So even if you don't want to purchase it within the next few months, don't worry about it. You can still have access to the replay forever, like literally forever. You'll also get a copy of the presentation slides as well. And it's all that for $24.99. And you can purchase your ticket at roadto750.net or like the first link in my bio. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me and my platform, I'm a board certified credit educator. So I teach about credit and educate about how to increase or improve or repair your personal credit scores. Before I'm not an influencer, so I don't know the other word, but before I was, I guess, online making credit content, I specifically worked in the mortgage industry with real estate agents to get their clients qualified for a home or maximize their credit score. So I've assisted in over 1,300 real estate transactions. So it's literally I love the mortgage scoring and industry and all of that. So my home buyers webinar is on the 7th of November. I'll be doing a giveaway. If you want to enter the giveaway and a chance to win tickets to it, pay attention to the Instagram page because I'll post exactly how. Instagram page is Road to 750 Plus. My website is road2750.net, net, not .com, .net. The tickets are only $24.99. And like I said, you get lifetime access to the replay and a copy of the presentation slides and obviously a ticket to the home buyers webinar. I'm super detailed, very detailed. You will know exactly what you need to do. It ain't no guessing involved. You will know exactly what you need to do as soon as you lead a webinar on how to improve your mortgage scores. Exactly. So yeah, y'all, that calls for coffee and credit today. If you enjoyed this or learned anything, come join us tomorrow. So I try to go live every weekday morning before I try to go live before 10 a.m. where we just talk about the latest credit news, credit tips, tricks, and I usually like to pick a topic that we'll focus on. Today, I guess it was collections, child. So yeah, and of course, make sure you follow me because I do provide free credit education and free finance education on all of my platforms. Try to do it daily. Yeah, so let me go because I gotta go. And I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye. If I can end it. Bye, YouTube. Where's my mouse? Okay, here we go. Bye, guys. It didn't even